like update this stuff, like add a logo and things. I think it's like
Are
$1.
you like able to? I know it was tough with the Zoom ones to like send them to me, but is it any easier to send these like to me?
Oh,
Because other times I've just been doing like voice memos, but I don't have the video. But
um, I can try. I think what I'm gonna want to try and do is record them now because I can do that, and then just edit it that way, and then I can
mm,
probably send it to you from there.
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know how to do it. I have no idea how to do it on a live stream though.
All right,
But
bet.
I'll start trying to record them because the editing doesn't take that long. So,
Okay,
all right,
all right, cool.
all right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sideline. My name is Rishioza,
Sheesh. My name's Asher Hire.
and it is playoff game day for the Denver Broncos for the first time in
Sheesh.
9 years. Ridiculous. They are in Buffalo. They're going to kick off in about an hour. This is a very late video to get on it, but we've both been extremely busy over the last few days. So we're making it happen when we can. But this is ridiculous. First off, to start the year, I remember when you were saying the first two games against the Seattle and Pittsburgh were probably the two most like discouraging games that you could possibly have for a rookie quarterback
Yeah.
trying to make the playoffs. It was like legitimately awful. He looked like crap. From where Bo Nix was then to where Bo Nix is now, to where the team was then to where the team is now, two completely different teams. Like they're not even the same. For them to have made the playoffs in general after what we had seen throughout training camp, throughout the early parts of the year is ridiculous.
Dude,
So
this is
win
a
or lose,
special. I mean, just
yeah,
overall, bro, this is a special episode. Obviously, it's been nine
yeah,
years, but like, bro, we've been we've been doing this since sophomore year, I think. Um,
yeah,
and like the amount of just like, I mean, the amount of episodes. I mean, this is a special one, bro. We're in the playoffs finally. All the amount of episodes we did with Teddy Bridgewater. I still remember like one of our early ones was Teddy Bridgewater like having a great game against the New York Giants, and we're like, oh.
yeah,
Like this dude's Loki, like like third down, he's diming off the defense. I'm like, damn, this could be a playoff team, and then obviously not. And then man, we had the uh year last year. I mean, these Russell Wilson years, jeez, man. But we're here finally, Sean Payton. You know, it's a tough little like treat or whatever. Like we have to go at Buffalo, but man. Game starts in about an hour, so we should really like get into the game now. Like, there's a lot of people, not a lot, but some people, John Gruden, Adam Rank. There's some people that think this game could be close, and I'm kind of on that wave a little bit too of it being, like the final score could end up being Bills. Like 34 to 20 or something, but like the Broncos hang around for three quarters or, make it a fourth quarter game. And then, Josh Allen makes plays here and there to like, put the Bills up. But I do think this game can be close for the majority of the game. The Bills defense is not very good, like just straight up.
yeah,
It's not good at getting off the field on third downs. It's not good at defending the run. It's not good when they don't force pressure, which they don't force pressure. Like when when
yeah,
when they just drop back, they've got um, their passing defense is not good when they just have to drop back on where is this right here? Passing versus zero pressure. The Bills defense ranks 30th. So if they don't get any pressure on Knicks, obviously the Broncos O line has been statistically the best in the league at guarding against on the pass. Not very good, running the ball wise, but against the pass rush, it's good. So I think Bo Nix is going to have a clean pocket for most of the game. Maybe Von Miller gets in there one time against his former team. But I think Nix is going to have a clean pocket. I think if he makes good decisions, if we start the ball, if we start out running well. Interestingly, Estime is inactive and Tyler Bidet is active
yeah,
this game, but it's still primarily probably going to be like Jaleel getting the most amount of carries. and then Javonte like kind of third down blocking slash receiving maybe. But I mean, if the Broncos were a good running team, I think they could pull off the upset here. But I like just the inconsistencies of the run game throughout the season. Um, like I think could make it tough. We did see it flash like in that Bengals game, or I'm thinking of the Chargers game. They got it going for a while.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
Bengals game, they had it going for a little bit, but it's just like bits and pieces of the game. They have it going, and then the rest of the game, they just can't get anything going. So I mean, like I don't know if we can keep that run game consistent throughout the whole game, have a clean pocket against their number 30 pass defense with no pressure. I think there's a chance to keep it close.
There is. I mean, we've had a lot of time to kind of just sit and think about this game. It's been a week
Yeah,
since we learned what the matchup is going to be. Um, and I mean, yeah, there have been some media personalities who have said, "Hey, listen, if there's going to be an upset this week, it might be this one." And I kind of agree. Like, I think the biggest thing with Denver's defense, right? The biggest thing that they've struggled with this year is speed and size on the outside. I don't, and Buffalo has size, right? Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman on the outside, Matt Collins, like those guys are big body possession guys, but they're not very fast. They're not speed, right? That's not like they have this. Like Khalil Shakir is their one speed guy who they have. Um, and they don't really have a number one, a true number one, which does make it a little interesting because you kind of like, all right, what are we going to do with Pat Surtain? Is it just on one side, or is he going to shadow Amari Cooper around? What is the plan with him on defense? But it also makes it a little simpler, where it's like, listen, we can just put him on one side because we're confident that our other 2 to 3 guys, whoever we play on the outside, can hold them. My one concern defensively is that they throw their running backs a lot, and Denver really, really struggles guarding
yeah,
running backs out of the backfield because their linebackers can't cover. Like people have learned that over the last like 5 weeks. They're going over the middle of the field a ton. They're going to the running backs. They're going to their tight ends, and that is where Buffalo's strength is on offense, honestly. So James Cook, one of the best receiving backs in football, you have to be able to cover him and make tackle on the first contact. And Ray Davis and Ty Johnson, the two guys who have kind of really come on, specifically receiving the ball over the last like 5 weeks for Buffalo. Those two guys have been excellent. That's another, wrinkle in their offense that you have to take account for. Um, Obviously, the Josh Allen thing is he's Josh Allen. Like, there's going to be plays where you can't get him down in the backfield, and he's going to break sacks and get 7-8 yards on a run. Like, it happens. He's going to convert a couple crazy third downs in the game. Like, that's going to happen. But you have to control things you can control, which is making sure that Josh Allen beats you and no one else. Like, I have never understood like the idea when people are talking about, oh, you can't let the best player beat you, you have to let someone else beat you. It's like, no, I would rather let the best player beat me than someone else. I don't want Khalil Shakir going off for 7 catches and 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, I would rather have Josh Allen have to do everything rather than him being comfortable and letting everyone else get a touch. But yeah, offensively, the run game, like, obviously that has to be, it has to work. If Denver does not have a run game, I'm not going to win this. Even if Bo has a clean pocket, in this environment, it's going to be freezing cold. The Buffalo crowd is ridiculous, specifically in the playoffs. This is the best wild card team of all time because they're always in this exact position over the last like 5 years. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what the run game looks like. I was very shocked that Esme is not active. Bidet's, this is his first game back since what, like week 5, week 6, whenever he got hurt. It's been a long time since he's been in
yeah.
there. But I saw a stat. Estimate averaged less than 3 yards of carry over the last 2 games against a bad Bengals defense and the backups against Kansas City. So, like, if you want to take a risk, go for some more explosiveness. Do it. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Bidet is the most explosive guy they have, and it adds another receiving threat that you can check down to. So it's not, your third string running back being inactive is not going to change the game. It's just, it was a little surprising considering how much we've seen him gain the trust of the coaching staff.
Yeah, for sure. And I like agree with all your points. I feel like I'm more like confident in the Broncos offense, interestingly, than their defense this game.
Yeah.
Like as you said, they don't have a clear number one, but they have this like hodgepodge of pretty good weapons. Like I feel like, in the years past, it's just been Diggs and Gabe Davis, and like I would feel more comfortable, I guess, with our current defense going against that receiving core of where like, okay, Surtain, you're on Diggs, Riley Moss, you're on Gabe Davis, like that's it. But now with this kind of hodgepodge of guys, it's like not really clear who Sertan is gonna line up on for most of the game. As you said, like the Broncos defense guarding against running backs and tight ends has been a struggle recently. And the Bills got good guys at both positions, especially receiving out of the backfield with Ty Johnson and Cook, and then their two tight ends obviously are really good too. Like I think Kincaid is scary to me this game. I feel like he's kind of their biggest like target this game. I would say, just matchup wise, he's the one that kind of scares me the most. Gesicki had 10 catches against the Broncos, against the Bengals last game. And so I think you know, either Kincaid or Knox could have a pretty big game. I also don't know if the scheme of the Broncos is the best for going against this Bills team. If this aggressive, man up everybody and blitz, type of scheme that's like 40% of the plays the Broncos do that just man up and blitz. Like going against Josh Allen, I feel like is a little scary. Obviously, these dudes are amazing against the blitz. Josh Allen, I think he's number 2 against the blitz and number 3 against man coverage. And so, I mean, it's scary, man. Like they've got Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, just some of these dudes who can just step up for like a play here and there. Obviously, Keon Coleman has the big play ability, and then Samuel and Shakir are like quick guys, down the middle of the field. So I can see this game. It surprised me. I don't know what the over under is. Let me check this real quick. Um, but I kind of think this can be a high scoring game. Um, the Broncos offense has been good. Bo Nix obviously has been good. People keep the over under is 48. I'm thinking this game could be like 34-27 type of thing.
Yeah.
Um and like Bo Nix, he finished off the season phenomenally against the Chiefs. It's like it was only Chris Jones and McDuffie like not out there. Like the rest of the starters were out there for the Chiefs on
Yeah,
defense.
defensively, yeah.
Leo
Yeah.
Chenal, all the linebackers were out there. Everybody in the secondary outside of McDuffie was out there. Yet people are like, "Oh, it's the practice squad Chiefs." It's like it really wasn't. It was a lot of the starters were out there, and the
Yeah.
Chiefs just ruined the Chargers, right? Didn't they do that against the Chargers or somebody where they played their backups and they beat them last year? Um, so I mean, like that Chiefs game, I actually people like ignore it. I actually look at it as like, that's I mean, that's the best the offense has looked, and that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Coming into this game. So like, I think the Broncos offense is going to be able to put up points. And then obviously I think the Bills will too. So, I can see this as a high scoring game. I don't like that. Obviously, I'd prefer it to be a low scoring game with the rookie quarterback, but um we're gonna have to force a turnover here and there, man. It's just so tough. Like the Bills team last year and Josh Allen last year was so different than this year. That
Yeah.
team almost turned the ball over damn near like 5 times in that game. They've turned the ball over only 8 times this entire season, and
Yeah.
so Josh Allen is just unbelievable. Not turn the ball over. To win this game, we're gonna need a turnover or a takeaway. I mean,
Yeah.
um, something's gonna happen. Either some strip sack fumble. Hopefully, James Cook puts the ball on the ground twice, like he did last season. But yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of the way we win. Is the defense is gonna allow some yards, but you can kind of rectify that or whatever by getting a takeaway.
I watched the highlights back of last season's game, and I mean, it's just 2 completely different teams on both sides. Like, you can't really take away anything, especially offensively from what Denver does. Not at all the same. I mean, it's the same coach, but they play completely different. And The Bills on offense, good lord, that was the game that made them change everything because I think they were what, 6-6 after that game or 5-6. Like they were not good at that point in the season last year, and then they went on a run, became the number 2 seed in the AFC. Obviously losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs last year, but it spurred what this version of the team is right now because of that game and that loss. Like Josh Allen was very careless, very reckless with the ball. James Cook was putting the ball on the ground the entire time. Latavius Murray was like the bell cow in that game. It was hilarious for Buffalo,
Dude.
and I'm just like, yeah, but the reason why Denver was even able to be in that game is because they forced multiple turnovers inside Buffalo territory, and they have to do that again because this Buffalo offense, like they can really eat up clock if they want to as well. Because that you obviously have Josh Allen, whatever his insane ability throwing the ball and his insane ability taking care of it when he does that, but they can run the ball extremely well too. Like they have James Cook, they have Ty Johnson, they have Ray Davis. Like they have a lot of people. And that's obviously not even taking into account Allen's legs. Like they have the ability to really run the ball. Denver's run defense has been great. Obviously, they've been exceptional, like getting to the quarterback. But this is a sneakily good matchup. Like I feel like people are ignoring that simply because it's a rookie quarterback and it's Denver. Like
Yeah,
they're just kind of
exactly.
a Cinderella story being here in the first place. Buffalo is going to run over them, but this is a team that in Buffalo that Josh Allen is historically great at not taking sacks, and this is a Denver team that led the NFL in sacks. A team that runs the ball very well against one of the best run defenses in the NFL. And then on the other side, it's a defense that gives up a lot on the ground, and it's a team that can't run the ball. And it's a team, like you said, that's not great in the pass when they don't get pressure. And it's a team that does allow some of the least pressures in the NFL, and a quarterback who's very, very good when the pressure does come. So we'll see. I'm excited to see how Sean Payton is scheming Bo Nix for this because and I'll go back to defense as well. I think what you said was good. This team is exceptional against pressure. Buffalo, they're great against that. Josh Allen is great against man, but I don't know how much you can stray away from what got
I
you to
know.
this point
I know.
defensively,
I just look
because
at like it just like man, this team and the Ravens are like so similar to me. And I
yeah,
the way that they played against the Ravens, I don't think like I obviously I understand what you're saying. Like the defense is a top 5 defense because of this scheme, but like at the same time, you're also not facing a Josh Allen every week or a Lamar every week or
yeah,
Mahomes. They did well against Mahomes, obviously, but that offense is just not on the level of the Bills and the Ravens. But like, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying though, but I also feel like you gotta also like respect the opponent a
yeah,
little bit, and maybe but it's just so hard to just go away with what you've been doing the whole year. It's like
yeah.
then all of a sudden a guy's confused, or you're putting guys in positions that haven't been uh put in position before this season because of a new scheme. So I mean, yeah, it's a tough situation, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I I because it is the playoffs, like you are going all out for every single game. So the scheme is going to change. They have been practicing the whole week specifically for this one game. Like during the course of a regular season, when this defense is practicing, yeah, they're scouting whatever's happening. They're but they're not going all out for this one singular game. They're not putting all of their stops together for this one singular game. They're doing that for like you have to. It's do or die. Like you have to go all out. And so I assume that they're gonna have the same blitz packages. They're gonna have their same man on man coverage scheme that they have had throughout the regular season, but they have to mix in some zone in there as well. And this is not a good zone coverage team. Every time I feel like the Denver goes in the zone, they get burned, but they have to do it. Like they don't have a choice in this game. So we'll definitely see how they go. But I think it is good because they have seen, like you said, this Buffalo offense and the Baltimore offense are very, very similar. It's run heavy with an exceptional quarterback who takes care of the ball, who can use his legs. They don't have a real, true number one guy. Obviously, Zay Flowers is better than any guy on Buffalo, but even yesterday, Zay Flowers wasn't playing, and they did great
Yeah.
just because they were able to run the ball and get it out timely to their tight ends and whatever wide receivers they have. And you saw what happened against a team like that. Like if you blitz and you play man, the team gets cooked. It's just that is what happens. But if you're able to somehow use what you learned then and just kind of maneuver it around a little bit, I think they have a shot. I really do. And I mean, it's gonna be a good game. Denver, they've had one blowout the whole year, like when they got blown out, and that was against Baltimore. Um, this
And
is
that
not a
game,
team that
like,
gets blown out.
there
So
was still a chance that game if Knicks hits wide open Troy Franklin, they're right in it. I mean, but
and
yeah,
it
you're
was
right.
with well, like a minute and a half left in the first half. It's 10-7 after Knicks catches the touchdown. Like, it's right there. But then Baltimore scores going into the half, and then they score coming out of the half. And then out of nowhere, it's 24-7 rather than 10-7. And even then, it was because, was it Zay Flowers who caught the ball and broke like 6 tackles?
Yeah.
The entire, like, there were a lot of things that went wrong in that game. It's like a 6-minute span that
Uh,
were the reason why Denver lost. Like, it was a game in the first half. It legitimately was. Um, so like even then, like it could, if the dam doesn't like fully break at the end of the half in that game, that blitzing strategy it was kind of working.
yeah. I mean,
And
as
you
you
also have
like, a lot of crazy things happen. Good thing is it's football and like crazy things happen. Like maybe we look at just offense and defense, but I think the Broncos have the special teams advantage, and I think they have
yeah,
the mental like advantage too. Um, just with obviously playing with nothing to lose. So I feel like Sean Payton in a nothing to lose environment is really scary. Like there's gonna be some plays that we haven't seen this year. That Sean Payton's gonna. I mean, at Baltimore, he whips out the Philly special. Like he's gonna do something. Um, I think and this whole thing of Marvin Mims coming on these past like
yeah,
8 weeks or whatever is huge, man. Like he could bust out a punt return or all these screens and stuff. I mean, that's hard to defend. Sean Payton, screen master, and now he finally like has found his guy to throw the screens to. Like Mims has just really changed a lot of this offense, and leaves a lot of room for creativity for Sean Payne calling plays. So I mean, you know, I like that there's stuff like that. As I said, I think the Bills, if they win this game, Baltimore comes in probably really like the AFC Super Bowl, AFC Championship right there. The two teams who have probably been playing the best all season. Um, man, like I think there's some chance for a little letdown here for Buffalo, but it's low. It's low. But I think the Broncos, as John Gruden said, like there's potential here to shock the world just with the house money they're playing with and
yeah.
just yeah.
No, that is a dangerous thing. And I don't think Buffalo's like gonna look over Denver. I think it's specifically because they have Von Miller. Like that aspect of it is going to make sure that they take this game seriously. They also have Kareem Jackson, who they elevated. So like they have two
Oh
guys who
wow.
used to be on the Broncos and are going to be playing in this game. So like they're not gonna overlook them whatsoever. But there is pressure. There's a lot of
The
pressure on
fans
this
might the
Buffalo team.
fans might. Like, I saw something of Zach Stevens just tweeted somewhere, he was like, "There's really not like, it doesn't I don't know, it doesn't look like it's gonna be like a sellout." Like, people I feel like are saving their money for the Ravens game. Um,
Oh
so, like, I don't know, I feel like obviously it's Bills, like, mafia, so I don't know how true that is. I can't imagine that it's not gonna be sold
no,
out,
it'll
but
it'll be a sellout. It might just be a late arriving
yeah, yeah.
crowd. But I mean, like there's a lot of pressure. This specific Buffalo, like last year's Buffalo team, I thought there was pressure on being the 2 seed, having the home game against Kansas City, and then still losing. Like there was a lot of pressure on that. I think there's more now. The season that Josh Allen has had, and the opportunity that you guys have to win. You beat the only team to beat Kansas City in the regular season. You have a path to doing it. This has to be the year where you guys make this the conference championship. And I think there's that pressure of like, listen, we have to at least win 2 games this playoffs. So if they are going to look past it, maybe they're doing that. But I don't think they're looking past Denver. Like, okay, listen, we have to think about Baltimore now. We have to think about Baltimore. I think they are thinking about Denver, but I don't think they're thinking about it in terms of like we're taking this playoff as one game at a time. They might be thinking about it as we have to do good throughout this entire run. Otherwise, there's going to be some tough decisions being made in this offseason. So there's a lot of pressure. And the team that doesn't have pressure, they're playing with house money. They can take risks. Like you said, Sean Payton's going to pull out some insane play that we haven't seen before if he gets the right look. Like it will happen. This dude is a maniac. Like there's going to be some crazy things happening.
The only like annoying thing is I gotta declare an onside kick. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
If we didn't have to declare an
is
onside kick, I would actually kind of maybe call that we're gonna kick an onside kick. But
yeah.
anyway, yeah, if we beat I mean, I don't think we're gonna beat them, but if we do beat them, going to Kansas City, I feel
That's
like I feel more comfortable playing at Kansas City than I do playing Baltimore or Buffalo.
yeah.
Like
I've seen a lot of Chiefs fans too. They're like, listen, we got to root for Denver to win right now because they feel much more comfortable, or they're rooting for Buffalo to win because they feel much more comfortable playing Houston
oh yeah.
than they do playing Denver. Denver plays Kansas City extremely well. Obviously can't really take much from this last game, but they beat the Chiefs. Like they beat the fully healthy Chiefs on the road. They did it. They did it. Like they did everything they needed to win that game. And so like this is a team that can do. Obviously, playoffs are a different atmosphere. Kansas City's offense has been much better closing the season than they were in week 7, 8, whatever it was that they played Denver. So like it is a different team, but this is a team that like man, like I do believe they have that ability in them to make some sort of kind of Cinderella run, but it has to start against Buffalo. It just sucks, man. It's against Buffalo. If it was against Pittsburgh,
I
right, or
know,
if it was
right?
against Houston, I know Houston still was able to come out and win, which is surprising to me. I thought the Chargers were gonna kind of walk over them, but Buffalo, man, it's the worst draw possible. You know, it's the coldest weather. Like, oh my god, that's the thing that I'm kind of most worried about is I don't know how they're gonna throw the ball.
Well,
Like,
the last time they kind of been in this type of weather was that Jets game that we don't like. Even though we won that game, I do not want to speak about that Jets game, because Bo Nix threw for like 60 yards. It wasn't even raining hard, and the ball couldn't come out of his hand. I don't understand what happened that game. Like he's played in Oregon the last 2 years, and then in this light rain in New York, it's like he can't throw. I don't understand. He's like holding it like this.
yeah,
Like I don't understand it, but that was I mean it's crazy. We went through this whole year without a snow game in Denver or anything remotely
I
close to a
know.
snow game in Denver.
We were thinking maybe that Cincy game something might
Oh
happen,
yeah, but
but
that seemed like it
it
was
was
dry the
fine.
whole game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. I was expecting like pouring rain. Everyone was saying it was gonna dump, but I guess not. Here, let's see. Let's see the weather right now in Buffalo.
It's
32
not
degrees,
terrible.
cloudy. It's not gonna rain. The wind chill has it as 21, so it is cold. Uh, I think Bo Nix might be allergic to wearing sleeves. Um, so we'll see what happens. He also might be allergic to wearing gloves. But it's cold and
Yeah.
it feels like 21 and it's 88% humidity. So it is like disgustingly cold there right
Damn.
now.
Damn.
So we'll see. Like I said, man, the run game has to work. If they don't get the run game going, I don't think they have a shot. But they have a chance, man, because this Buffalo defense is not great. Like they are not very good. And I do think I think they're best off the edge, right? Epinesa and Gregory Rousseau are two very good edge rushers. Matt Milano coming back helps. He's a very, very good middle linebacker. But man, like everyone, Benford, the corner, he's very good. Uh, Everyone else is not that good. Like they have an opportunity for mismatches everywhere else. So the issue, Denver doesn't have weapons on the outside to kind of take advantage of that. So Marvin Mims is going to have a good game. We'll see if they get the tight ends involved. Lucas Krull maybe as a receiving threat if they are going to use them. So we'll see, man. I'm excited. Like we started this episode saying this is a special episode. Just the fact they're here, I'll take it, man. I'll
I
take
know.
it. I'll take whatever playoff atmosphere we can get, even if it is just for one game. The fact that this is even happening
That's what's
is
weird
insane.
about that's what's weird about the like football compared to basketball. It's like we only have 3 hours of us being in the playoffs, whereas basketball we got a whole bunch of games and like
Yeah, it's
weeks
like a
of
week.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And like this one is just like bang in and out. I mean, but they made it. They're on the national stage. I'm hyped to see. It's gonna say AFC wild card on the top right. The
yeah.
Broncos in it. Like that's fire. So,
We got
uh,
Nance, got the big crew calling it too, which is huge. Um, I'm excited, man. I will say, like, in terms of overall this season, like we talk about, yeah, I'm like it's crazy. The middle of the year where it's like, man, this defense is so good, the offense has to pick it up. Now we're thinking, man, I'm confident the offense could do something. I wonder what the
it's
defense is
weird.
gonna do.
I
It
know.
completely has flipped. Denver's a top 10 scoring offense in the NFL. They finished the year as a top 10 scoring offense in football, which is ridiculous. I think they finished averaging 25 a game, which obviously has to be the
And
highest scoring mark in 10 years for this team.
we're number one in average margin of victory in the whole NFL.
Wait,
Like,
really?
yeah,
I didn't even know that.
like the games that we win, the average margin of victory is 18 points. That's insane. We just blow
Jesus.
teams. Like seventh
Jesus.
in point differential. The problem is 1-6 record in close games, whatever close
Yeah,
games means. But I mean, is that like maybe within three? I don't know, maybe one
like
possession
one
games.
possession one
Um,
possession games.
one
I
and
mean, even if you just
six.
think about it as like a one possession game, like what is it? Seattle game was one possession game. That sucked. Uh, was
So
the Pittsburgh game one
it
possession?
had to be the Jets game, right? That we won.
I think the Jets game was the only one they won because Chiefs they lost, Chargers both of them they lost, um, Bengals obviously.
It's like all their
Uh,
losses except for one.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's all the yeah it is everyone except Buffalo or Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
So we'll see. I mean that's what happens with a rookie quarterback, and not a lot of weapons. It does unfortunately take a lot to win the close games. So we'll see. Hopefully a big Cortland Sutton game. I'm really looking forward to that. Seeing him in the
I
playoffs.
know. I
That's the
think,
other thing, man.
yeah.
Like just getting Cortland Sutton, Garrett Bowles, those guys into the playoffs, like it means a lot more just to play this game so that those guys can experience it.
I'm thinking
I
like,
wish
man,
Justin Simmons was there, but no.
yeah. I want to give Sutton like 3 shots this game, man. Like
Yeah.
go deep to him. If he's 1-on-one against, like I can't even as bad. I can't even name a corner on their team really. But if he's 1-on-one against one of their dudes and there's no safety help over the top, I'm taking that chance like every single time I want to. So I'm hoping he has a big game, man. Like who is the corner? Is it that Benford dude? That's gonna be
Benford's their
on there.
main one. Benford's their main one, so I assume he'll be there most of the time. But I don't think that they're gonna have like a. They're not gonna have him shadow. I think.
Oh, they got Khair Elam, a dude from Florida, Rasul Douglas,
Oh,
and then Teron Johnson. But Johnson's more of a slot, like
he's a
almost
slot guy. Yeah, he's a
almost
slot guy.
linebacker type. Yeah,
But he's a very good slot guy. He's a very good slot guy. He's the guy who's gonna have to guard a lot of the screens on the outside. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, are you kidding me? The Nuggets game starts at 1. It's not a later game.
bruh. Right during the middle of the Broncos.
Yeah, the middle of the game, dude. Come on, man. I mean, I don't really care about it that much anyway. This Dallas without Luca and Kyrie and over the Broncos game, so who cares?
Yeah,
But
except they like can win without their best players, unlike us. But they've
hey,
won two in a
Denver
row
went
without.
like 2-1 without
You're
Jokic.
right. You're
So
right. You're right. Let me stop. Let me stop the disrespect.
man, I'm excited, dude. I'm just excited. I do agree with you. I think Denver should take some shots. I think Denver should take some shots. But also, I've been watching a lot of the ESPN recap. First off, they've done an incredible job kind of just promoting all the games. They always do a great job. But the Get Up crew, or not, maybe not the Get Up, the NFL Live crew, they've done a really good job breaking down a lot of these games. Dan Orlovsky, I think, he obviously has his bad opinions, but I think that's more of a production choice and not necessarily him actually believing it. Because when he talks about football, when he breaks it all down, it's great. He
Yeah.
broke down, Buffalo does a lot of 4-by-1 formations, meaning they have 4 guys on one side of the field and 1 guy on the other. And it just breaks down the game. It makes it really, really easy. So, you have one guy on one side. If there's only one safety over the top, or if there's the safety's down in the box and there's one high safety, you're going to go to that outside guy because it's normally your best receiver in a one-on-one situation. If both safeties are back and they're playing a coverage, so if you can run the ball, and if it's two safeties high, but they have the box somewhat stacked, you have three guys in one-on-ones on the outside, on the other side, and you have one of the best receiving backs in football, as James Cook is the fourth, who's most likely going to have a one-on-one with the linebacker. So he makes the game really, really easy for them. But what Denver can do, obviously, is have Pat Surtain on one side of the ball and shut down that side even without over the top safety help. So you can bring the safety down. You can bring PJ Locke or Brandon Jones down into the box, be able to guard the run, be able to guard any sort of checkdowns out of the backfield with him, be confident in your one-on-one matchups outside, and still be able to live with that. They run it 10 times a game, and it's kind of where a lot of their biggest plays come from. So
Yeah.
Denver does match up specifically against that. That is the one specific matchup I've seen. So I'm taking Dan Orlovsky and Mina Kimes' word for it. But we'll see. I really do enjoy how they've marketed this.
Yeah.
Every time I watch NFL marketing, I'm like, Jesus Christ, NBA, just
You
pick up the freaking pace.
I saw like their highest the Cavs Thunder game did really good ratings for the NBA. I look at the next ESPN game, Heat Lakers. Like, dude, you guys are close. You guys are close, and then you just throw in these Lakers games. It's like, how many years of the Lakers being not a good team do you have to realize these dudes are not a good team? Like, stop putting them on national TV, bro. Um, I mean, there's a reason your ratings are down, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just show the best teams in the NBA, change it up. You see how good the NFL does. Um, Man, it's just annoying. Last thing
Like
I'm gonna
neither
say. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was one thing. Neither of the Thunder Celtics games were on national TV this season.
Or
Neither of
Spurs
them.
Nuggets, like, it's so bad. Last thing I'm gonna say. Last time this team were in the playoffs together, 2015. We know what happened with each. And Ohio State looks like they're on their track to win it all. Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm ready for it. I'm down for it. I got nothing against the Buckeyes. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun day. Win or lose, this is a fun day. This is Denver's ahead of schedule, very ahead of schedule. For what this team is. Obviously, spoke about it earlier. I didn't expect this team to make the playoffs coming into the year. This was their ceiling. I thought their ceiling was 10-7 because I knew that if Bo Nix can play how he played in the preseason, which he has been doing as the season has gone on, and if the defense plays how they did to end last year, they can win 10 games. They can because they have a pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. Like But I mean, man, the way that the season started, that Seattle game, I was sitting in this chair, I was watching on this screen, and I remember the first play or whatever, the first like series that Seattle had was
Oh,
disgusting. It
yes.
was like a pick or a fumble, something disgusting happened. And then Denver went 3 and out and had to kick a field goal. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. 3 free points, whatever. And the game kept going, and it was the most disgusting, like, first 20 minutes of a game I've ever watched in my life. And I'm like, oh my God. And then Bo Nix kept making horrible decision after horrible decision and inaccurate throw after inaccurate throw. And I'm like, what do we do? What do we just
Yeah.
get ourselves into? What happened? But man, the way that he's improved throughout the year, because I also remember when we were talking, when Denver was on whatever, 5-game win streak, 4-game win streak, um, we were saying like, yeah, Bo Nix has been playing better, but it wasn't necessarily like he had been playing better.
Good.
It was more of just like the team overall had been playing better and the scheme had been playing better. But I think really since like that Kansas City game, Bo Nix has been getting better each and every
Yeah.
game. He's been making plays each and every game. And man, like the Bengals game was ridiculous. Obviously, it sucked to lose that one, but that showed a lot.
I
That
do
showed a
look.
lot that you needed to see from this team.
And looking
Uh,
back on it, I mean, like, man, how impressive was that Tampa Bay game, dude? Like,
I know,
sheesh.
I know.
That's a good
That's what,
team.
like That's a very, very good team. A very good team that you go in and you smack. And that's a healthy Tampa
Yep.
Bay too. At least offensively. The defensively they're missing some guys, but offensively, that's a Tampa Bay team with Chris Godwin and with Mike Evans fully healthy. And
Yep.
they smacked them. Like, it wasn't even close. So that Tampa Bay game is looking better and better as the year goes on. So man, this is a
Yeah.
good team, man. I'm confident this is a good team. I'm really excited. I'm getting more and more excited as the season goes on because I'm looking forward to what they can do in the offseason. We'll obviously
Yep.
talk a lot more about
Yep.
that as the combine comes closer, as more of scouting gets done from everybody else, and the draft board gets a little more solidified. But man, the
Yeah.
like what you can see what Sean Payton wants with this team, and there are so many guys in this draft who fit exactly what they want and who will be available when Denver's picking, regardless of where they are. So
Yep.
I'm excited, man. I'm really, really
Yep.
excited.
And that's for a later date. I gotta head out. I need to go. I don't want to miss the opening tip or the kick.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Score prediction. I already said it multiple times. I think 34-27-ish for the Bills. But if the Broncos win, I'm gonna say, dude, I still feel like we're gonna have to put up like 30 points, but I don't
They
see
do.
how
Yeah.
we're gonna if the Broncos win, I'll say like 31-28 somehow.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll say if Buffalo wins, I'll go 31-24. Um, and if Denver wins, I'm gonna say this. I think if Denver wins, it has to kind of be they have to take control of it early. Like they got to jump early. So I'm gonna say like 34-20. I'll say if Denver wins, it's
oh
34-20
wow.
because I think
Holy
I
dude,
think
imagine that.
I think they have to jump on them early. Like they got to kick him in the mouth and keep
Yeah.
going. Because otherwise, I don't like. We just talked about their close game record. They're not winning a close game, especially on the road in this environment. It's not going to happen. So they have to jump out and hold the lead early. So
Yeah.
that's my
All right,
prediction.
bro. Nice talking to you. Let's go
Yes,
Broncos.
let's go
We
Broncos.
back.
Let's see what
We
happens.
back.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Let's do
All
it.
right. I'll see